That is wacky music right there.
Yeah.
Jim George. It's time for Jim George. This is the technology show. It's not the cable show. It's the technology show. We don't just talk about cable TV.
Yeah.
We kind of talk about home entertainment. Is kind of really what we talk about, right?
Any type of technology.
Jim George is knowledgeable about all those things because he is the owner of American Cable Services. I just want to hear the song a little bit longer.
That's a song?
That's a song. Good question. Your questions are an important part of this show. And good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Good morning. Fine, thank you.
The number to call Jim during the course of this broadcast is 622-9622, if you didn't already know. So you brought in from the Daily Sun, a page from an article about net neutrality. You said it gives negative in both sides of the story.
Right.
You asked me if I was interested in it, and I am, but I don't have an opinion about it because I've spoken to people who are for it, and they make sense.
Yep.
I've spoken to people who are against it, and they make sense.
Right.
I don't know where I stand on it. Where do you stand on it? Are you like me, or are you?
No, I think it should be open, and the government should not be involved, because what happens is they mean well. They're going to pass a law that says you cannot throttle down certain people who are trying to have access to the internet. But you know how they write bills. They always have these little things that dangle on the end, and before you know it, they say, okay, but you can't do this and you can't do that. And so what the other side is saying is just leave it open and let the marketplace determine. But the problem with the marketplace determining is if you wanted to take all the songs that you have written and made videos out of them, maybe show sunsets or sunrises and your music playing in the background, and then everybody wanted to stream to your music. Comcast,
which is what happens now.
Or Cox might come to you and say, "Oh yeah, but you got to pay us a fee for every person that goes to your site."
Well, then forget it. We don't do it.
Yeah, and so what happens? It stifles.
Well, so here's the question I have. Whenever somebody tries to come up with a solution, it means there's a problem. I don't see where the problem is right now. That's the question I have. What is the problem that needs to be solved?
Well, the problem is that Comcast started it where they were throttling down certain sites, and there was limiting the bandwidth. So if you wanted to go to Netflix and watch Netflix a half a day, and you were using their bandwidth, they didn't like that. So they closed down those portals, or by throttling. In other words, less speed.
So one provider did.
Right. And so the FCC passed a law saying you can't do that. Well, then Cablevision of New York wanted to do the same thing, and they challenged it in court. And the Supreme Court came back and said, no, the FCC has the way they wrote the law, they have no right to say that. So the FCC, if you read the article, is coming back and saying we're just going to rewrite it differently so that, in fact, we can regulate. In other words, the internet should be open. It should not be throttled.
I thought at this point the FCC didn't have any control over the internet. I thought that was what this was all about.
Well, they did have it prior to this time, and that's what I'm saying. Cablevision of New York challenged it, and it got thrown out.
But is that cable or is that the internet?
That was internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Throw it.
I don't know. And we've had people who say it's great. Everything's gonna be neutral. Everything will be fair. But I was like, is it unfair right now?
I think Netflix paid something like $3 billion for the right for Comcast not to throttle them, because Comcast is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. And if this deal with Time Warner goes through, they'll be even larger. There's rumors that it won't go through, but we don't know.
But everything that doesn't go through is tried again until it does go through.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Isn't that the way it works?
They beat the doors down.
Yeah.
But people will, if that happens and, Comcast is insistent on throttling down, using your words, people will just not use them as a provider and go somewhere else.
Well, that's one of the problems, like in, let's say, downtown Ocala. You have two choices, the city of Ocala, and you have Cox. But in some areas, you have Bright House or you have Comcast, and they're the only provider. But there are wireless providers, and the wireless providers are becoming more popular.
Right.
Very
Exactly.
much so. Very much so.
Did you see this new thing? Or did you hear us talking about it this morning? It's foosball with your iPad.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that.
Oh, really? Gosh,
I'm not a foosball player. Maybe that's why I didn't
you know what
understand.
foosball is, right?
Yeah, but
it's just a simple game where you have paddles.
Yeah,
Okay, but so it's a little tiny version of that, like 7 or 8 inches.
right, electronic version. Yeah.
No, it's not electronic. It's just a table.
Oh, it's still manual.
Well, yes and no. You put your iPad in it,
okay.
so the iPad becomes the screen, the table.
All right.
And then the little controls control it. You can play with somebody else, and then as we're reading it, we discover I could be playing with you, even if you're 100 miles away or more, or whatever.
Yeah, you'd have to have your own little table and your iPad to.
I think
do
that's
that.
a bit much. That's probably a more elitist game for me than I don't know if I'd spend time playing.
Foosball is fun, though.
Is it?
The actual game. I don't know about the little electronic version. Because the actual one, they're usually made very rugged. You can slam, you can spin that thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's funny.
Are you able to play games? Is there going to be just a game channel on the TV, so you can just go and have games like that, play Tetris or foosball or anything like that?
There's actually several companies, one in Tampa, one in Gainesville, and actually one in Ocala, that have created games. And some of their games are actually in Vegas, where you play them.
Oh, nice.
And so they are made for cable TV also.
Oh, okay.
And so you can play another opponent, or you can play the computer. Mm-hmm. So whether it's chess or whether it's a real game like some kind of golf challenge or football kick and throw and catch type thing, whatever, you can play with somebody else, or you can play. And there's all kind of games. I mean, especially the games that are the ones that you see that cost maybe $50 in the stores, and they're action games where you're shooting the animals or whatever. All
The
those
role-playing games.
They'll all be there.
Yeah.
You're shooting the animal.
Well, that's that. I don't know.
Oh, I know.
So that way
We-
you won't need an outside device like the Wii has an outside device. You won't need that. You just everything's all self-contained.
All self-contained. You may have to have some kind of a handheld paddle type thing, because think about it. What do you manipulate? What do you turn to make the guy run faster or slower, or
Right.
throw or pitch?
So you sent me like 4 or 5 articles this week dealing with legislation that will affect. Was it all about net neutrality?
Yeah, basically all about net neutrality, and some of it dealt with phone. There's a new invention out. I think we're going to be hopefully a statewide distributor for it, but it's called the virtual wallet, and it's really neat. So what happens is the guy who invented it out of New Jersey said that there are a lot of undocumented aliens in America, and they can't get bank accounts, and they can't get, let's say, credit cards, because they may be working, but they need ID.
Okay.
All right. So that's that's the reason why he invented it. But then he goes on to say that the security is so tight with this new invention. And the way it works is you have a virtual bank. And so when you get paid and your employee wants to send the money to your bank, and he can send it to this virtual bank. And then this virtual bank puts it into their virtual account. And then it's on your cell phone, and it's also on a Visa card. And this Visa card is tied to your cell phone. So if you had a person in Mexico, let's say, and you wanted to send them money, you would give them this credit card, and you could put $10 on it, $20, $50, $100 onto the credit card within seconds.
Oh, wow.
So it's like texting. So you just say text
Wow.
$100 to, and then you put that credit card number in, and it's on. And so they're doing that now. They have like 250 customers in Mexico and Guatemala. It's a small number, but it's a beta test. And what they found out, some of the people are using it for drugs and using it for other than food.
Gee.
So what they've done is they've signed up over 400 stores in Mexico, where what you do is, if your mother lives in Guadalajara or whatever, you put the money on the store, and then she can come in and use the money.
Oh,
And
okay.
it goes
That makes sense.
virtual wallet.
Yeah, we are
I like that.
up against the break. We'll take a little break and be right back with Jim George.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Today will be a nice day, but not as warm as recent days with some clouds, then sunshine. The highs will range from the mid-60s to the mid-70s across the zone. Partly cloudy skies tonight and chilly. Lows ranging from the low and mid-40s in a few inland spots to 55 along the coast. Partly sunny tomorrow. Highs generally in the low to mid-70s. Sunday clouds and sun high 78 to 82. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
The apple peels, they contain a compound called ursolic acid that increases our metabolism, which means an apple a day can definitely help keep the pounds away. Models and doctors do date, but the person you meet online claiming to be one probably is not. It's the most common internet lie. Fashion experts believe the fragrance oil trend is here to stay because sales of traditional spray-on perfumes are disappearing into thin air.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retool.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire. Because that's how exotic it is.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
1370 WOCA.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Jim George is here. He is your high-tech guru. We learn a lot about the things that bring home entertainment into our homes and our cars, and in fact, in our pockets with some of these devices. If you want to call Jim during the course of the show, you are invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. And one thing I want to tell you, we talk about it as paying bills with the phones.
Yes.
Did you hear this story? It was just this morning, I think Robin read it, about these airplanes that can mimic cell towers and trick your phone to thinking that it is a cell tower and then steal your information.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So while things are getting better, the thieves are also getting better.
Oh, they're smarter than we are. If we could hire some of those thieves, we'd have technology, 10 times faster. They just sit around all day and figure out how to give you a virus, how to give you a cookie. I don't know where their mindset is, but I guess they're just unchallenged. They just got to do something that nobody else has done, mess you up.
So flying around with whatever it is in the airplane that a phone in the vicinity thinks is a cell tower, suddenly I guess it automatically connects to it. Is that how that works?
Yeah. Well, like this morning on Good Morning America, I think it was Channel 9, whatever that is, out of Orlando, they were showing that they can have this device in their pocket and they can brush up against where your wallet is. And if it gets within, I think, 10 to 14 inches of your wallet, all the credit card information on your credit cards dumps into their
10 or 14 inches. That's not brushing up. That's standing. That's normal standing on a bus or a crowded subway or whatever.
That's as close as you need. Now you get closer, it happens faster. But like in a bus, if you just back up, like to me, I have my wallet in my back pocket. If you get up next to me, within a minute or less.
And what does it get it from? The magnetic strip?
Yes, the magnetic strip. Well, it's from the new credit cards. The new credit cards, which everybody will eventually get, has a little chip in it. and that chip is meant to do RFI. In other words, radio frequency-wise, that's the RF, send the intelligence. So you just have to go through the counter, and if you owe money, you just take your card and you wave it near the. You don't have to swipe it.
Yeah.
You don't have to put your PIN in. Everything. Well, they seized on that, and so what they're doing is on their cell phone, they put an app, and all your information on your credit card now is RFI'd to their cell phone.
Oh,
and they know
my.
all your history, everything you've ever done. If you ever bought anything from eBay, or anything you've ever done in your account is now on their cell phone.
Wow.
No, wow.
Yeah.
Yesterday we got free paper towels at CVS.
Yeah, we did. Saved 79 cents.
All right.
Yeah, put your number
Yay.
put your phone number into this computer, and it'll give you a coupon and free.
Free paper
Except the
towels.
problem is that it made the people behind us annoyed because they had to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Well, this virtual wallet is actually made for, like, if you have children. I mean, we're at the age, we don't have maybe young children anymore, but let's say we have grandchildren. So if you wanted to give the child a credit card or a debit card, if they lose that credit card or debit card, they have to wait weeks to get another one. Or if somebody steals that credit card or debit card, they can use the money. With the virtual wallet, as soon as they can't find that card, they just go back into their cell phone and transfer the money back into their cell phone again.
Oh, wow. You have a phone call, Jim.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Yeah, good morning, Jim and Larry and Robin. All these scams are like so unbelievable, and I guess it's related, and I just wanted to bring it up. I saw something where, unfortunately, there's a device being sold that attaches to the smartphones, and it picks up infrared heat patterns. And after you've used a debit card, the person then walks up, clicks a quick picture, and gets the heat impressions off the keypad, and they're able to steal through your debit account using that method. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, why would they sell such a unit that will facilitate this type of scamming? It's just, I can't understand, like, what would be a non-criminal use?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, just wanted to bring it up, and thank you for all your share.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think maybe that should be a crime, is to actually sell something like that. Because, like you said, unless there is some legitimate use for that, can you think of one?
Well, infrared. I mean, if you were missing your pet, your gerbil got out of the cage or whatever,
that has happened, by the way.
Yeah, Billy and Rat.
You can use your cell phone to track the heat signature where he went. Oh, there he is behind the couch.
You have another, which is where he was, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Good morning. You're on there with Jim George.
Good morning, Jim. This is Sonny calling. One of the things you can do to put a wrinkle in their actions, the criminals' actions, with this getting your information from a credit card, is you wrap your credit card in aluminum foil, and that sort of puts a dent in their ambitions.
Oh, really? That works?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it works.
But when you...
As a matter of fact, I made a little pocket, and I stuck it in my wallet where I hold my credit cards, and it's with the aluminum foil and some Scotch tape, and so far it seems to be holding up, and put my cards in there, and I think I'm protected there, because aluminum foil acts as what they call shielding against these magnetic waves that do the transmission of this information.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know the technical end of it, but it works. Have a good weekend
thank you.
now.
That's like stopping Superman from being able to...
Yeah, lead line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they actually sell these little sleeves now. You can put in your wallet, and then you can slide your credit card in the sleeve.
They make something like that.
They do.
You have another phone call, Jim. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Hey, Hugh.
I hope this conversation is not going to be too a little bit different, but with this little spacecraft that landed on an asteroid, it's really, really amazing, and it kind of really gets your mind thinking about kind of crazy thoughts and stuff. Where I guess this little space thing was traveling 10 years to catch or following this asteroid to a certain spot so it could land on it. and it takes I don't know how long for the signal to go back and forth, several minutes or even hours or whatever it is. I was always kind of wondering in my mind, ever since radio and television, and we're sending these signals out into space, and they keep going and going and going to wherever land. Someday in a very, very far future, it would be like a rocket ship that could fly supersonic so fast and get ahead of these signals. Could you like get on a planet or something and all of a sudden put your radio or TV on and get these programs?
You could hear us again.
Yeah. The radio frequency or radio waves, when they go out into space, they are traveling, like you say, and they travel at the speed of sound as compared to the speed of light. And so your question is, I think, if I understand it, is what if you could travel at the speed of light and get ahead of that? Could you listen to programming from 1932 or whatever? And the answer would be yes.
So in other words, you get on another planet and have free TV?
Well, luckily TV doesn't go that far. Radio waves do.
How come the TV doesn't go that far?
It's the way it's designed. As you know, the FCC has limited the transmission power and things like that, and it's omnidirectional. Most radio signals are omnidirectional, but they're made in such a band, and what's called the HF band, the EF band, that they go further.
Like when they're in communication to like this little a rocket or satellite, whatever you want to call it, landed on that large rock. What kind of a signal is that?
I'm not really positive. I think what it's doing is shooting back to a satellite, and then the satellite is beaming it back to the back to the Earth. Not necessarily the signal directly back to the Earth in that sense. It's like hopping from satellite to satellite. And I'm not positive because I didn't really, research it, but I believe that's what's happening. They send it to the satellite, and the satellite sends it to them.
Okay, this is all very interesting. Whenever something like this happens, you just become kind of enthralled in how they can do something like that. And it's just you just wonder what's all about space and time and everything else. So it's kind of an interesting thing to go through.
Oh yes, very interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well, you know what I often thought, and this is way out there, but when they tell you the estimated age of the universe, scientists will have this number, and then you'll hear another scientist say that we're getting light from the Hubble telescope that is like a gazillion million light years away. And you say, well, wait a minute, that's older than the whole universe. Where's that coming from?
Yeah, right.
It's like, I don't think they have the numbers exact. So
yeah, I was somewhere yesterday in an electrical wholesale house buying a part, and the guy said, "Hey, you hear where they landed that device on the comet or whatever?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Yeah, now they'll be able to determine how the universe was formed." And I said, I could save them billions of dollars. God said form, and they formed. That's done.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, I know. I heard them say. Somebody said, "Oh, we'll now know if maybe water was brought to Earth by comets, and therefore we came to Earth by comets." I heard that statement made yesterday. I think it was. But my favorite story out of the whole comet story, though, is that guy with the very colorful shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the guy I'm talking about? The scientist with the pinup girls on his shirt?
Yeah, the pinata scientist. Well, when you have that virtual wallet and they are selling things on television, then will we be able to go on your cable system, and then when you show those ads, just flip it in front of the TV screen, and then everything's ordered?
No, it'd be where you have to call the toll-free number, and you...
Oh, really? Still got to do that?
Yeah, it's still a credit card. The idea is, instead of our debit card, the idea is that the money is placed on their moment. If you don't, it could be $0, and you could transfer $19.95 to it, and then buy something for $19.95.
I see.
Oh, okay.
So somebody couldn't steal it because it doesn't go anywhere except for the exact amount.
Exactly.
Well, we're out of time, and Jim, what is your number for the normal down to earth purposes of American cable services? Where would they call?
854-9795.
All right. Well, we pick your brain about so many things. You must hurt by the time you're done here. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. We're getting revelations about the Secret Service and how it handled a White House fence jumper.
The Secret Service reportedly hedged their bets on some White House